Hello, how's it going, everybody? Drew here over at Arcturus Cinema headquarters, and at any rate, we have a new episode of the Business Origin Story podcast for you, and with me today is Raymond. And Raymond, why don't you go ahead and take the floor and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Ray Collins with Jomsom Staffing. Thank you so much for having me. And we do staffing and recruitment. I'm based here in Nevada, but we are a national franchise expanding nationwide.
Very cool. And so go ahead and give us, Ray, a background of Jomsom and what they do. You know, give us a little bit more background into that or detail into that.
Absolutely. So Jomsom was founded in 2008 over in New Jersey as a staffing company. And as it grew, our founder, Sarab, started getting into the franchising side. And originally working with loyalty brands, later on doing it all ourselves. And over the years, I've been expanding nationwide. So I'm the first one out here in Nevada, trying to get some of the Southwest area developed. And of course, we're looking to fill in the country in the middle, but focusing on some of the urban spots, Tampa, New York City, things like that, to try and get everything started. And it's been very fun seeing the company grow and seeing all the changes come through.
My question to you is, so is it just you and a small team, or what's it look like for your Nevada franchise?
So the Nevada franchise is a small team. I'm the area rep, and the goal would be to bring in 10 other franchisees to open up their own offices underneath me. I have my own office with my own recruiter where we operate and take care of our clients. And then, of course, nationally, we have a full team of support. So a legal team to make sure we have full compliance and valid contracts, an advertising team, a marketing team, a development team, all the support we need to make sure that everything's running efficiently.
That's awesome. So you're looking to branch out and manifest destiny here in Nevada, open some more offices. So my next question to you is, so when it comes to helping with staffing and recruiting, is there a particular type of ideal client or customer that you work with, or is it like any small business?
My focus is on helping small and mid-sized businesses grow. Personally, I have a passion for helping small businesses. I used to do insurance benefits and group benefits, and then became a SCORE mentor for a while and realized that I really enjoyed helping these small businesses grow. The biggest problem most companies have is finding the right help, finding good employees. So that was my opportunity to come in and help these small businesses grow. My big name competitors in the staffing industry, they don't go after the small companies. They're not supporting them because it doesn't make sense. But we're small and lean, and we can help them and make profit doing it. So it put my passion together with my business. It all works out great. And it's our little niche of helping these businesses grow. But we do all industries. I have construction clients, I have law firms, I have medical offices. We do a bit of everything.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, the small and mid-sized businesses definitely need a lot of help with vetting those potential employees and you know, or vendors or contractors, you know, however you spin it. They definitely need help in that space because I've heard horror stories, and I'm sure you have plenty of, you know, these businesses, and they'll hire someone off of maybe Indeed or maybe at some sort of networking event, and they think they're a good fit, and they just end up being not a great fit at all. So
that absolutely happens, and one of the realities is when you do it every day, when you're seeing the volume that we see of getting dozens of applicants in and doing hundreds of interviews, you start to see the patterns, you start to realize where the red flags are. So we're much better about filtering out some of those issues before it ever reaches our clients. The other side is, realistically, we're getting paid to deal with those headaches. So we still face those challenges, we still have those problems, but we're taking that on behalf of our client so they don't have to deal with it.
That's awesome, because I know that adds a lot of pressure, because these small businesses are already wearing a lot of hats. So it's very good that you're able to come in there and take off that burden, or at least one of those hats, so they can focus on running the business. So what would you say has been in the past, I don't know, few years, or how long have you been doing this actually, before I get into that?
So I started with the company, I came in 2023, operated in 2024, so about 2 years here in the area. But of course, always been involved with small businesses, so very experienced with the industry, just now moving into the staffing side specifically.
Oh, okay. So over these past couple years, what has been the kind of the biggest red flags or problems that you see when it comes to staffing and recruiting?
I would say the biggest change that I've seen is the AI revolution, and that's happening on both sides. We're seeing employers that are using AI tools to do screening of applicants and whether they get passed on for an interview or they get denied, which has created some interesting issues. Just a silly one, I heard about a company that told their AI they're looking for 3+ years of experience. The AI understood 3+ to be a software program, like 3M or something.
Oh, wow.
So it was looking specifically for the terminology of 3+ sign in their resumes. So if someone said they had 5 years or 10 years of experience, they were being denied because the AI didn't understand 3+ years meant more than 3, not 3+ sign of a specific thing. Silly little issues like that happen, but it now means that their pipeline's wrecked. They're not getting applicants in, and they're denying all these good applicants. The other side is that a lot of applicants are using AI to apply. They're getting low response rates, so they use AI to apply in bulk and insert all the job requirements into the resume, which now means their resume is not accurate. They're applying to a job they didn't know they applied to. And we then receive that in. We're pretty good about identifying when the AI wrote the resume and knowing that it's not accurate, but we've had people get to the resume stage where we realize very quickly they don't even know what job they applied to or what they're interviewing for. They'd applied to so many things they've lost track. And now a silly one is we had someone interview for a sales position and talking about how they want to leave sales. So they're applying for new jobs. We're like, but you applied to a sales position. This is sales.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, oh, wait. And we could tell very quickly that they had used a program to apply to every opening in the area and just had no clue what they're applying to. So that's a huge burden on both sides, that the applicants are running into these filters and barriers that they're getting denied for no explicable reason, while the employers are getting deluged with all these applications that aren't really legitimate from applicants that didn't even know they're applying.
I've definitely heard about that, and I think it's like one thing for someone applying to a job to maybe have the AI touch up their resume for a particular vertical, like if like in my case it would be like, for example, like event videography or something, and have the AI basically revise it or update it. But it's another thing to use like an AI bot to just apply to all these things and then just essentially use the same cover letter, the same thing for all these applications.
Well, what we're seeing is they're using the AI to write a custom cover letter and customize the resume for each job application, inserting all the job requirements into the resume. So they come through looking like the perfect applicant. They check all the boxes, they have all the things you're looking for. But the reality is none of it's true. The AI just inserted everything you're looking for into the app. So it's causing a lot of issues that you go into the interview stage and realize that this isn't valid. And now you've wasted all the time of vetting them and scheduling and interviewing just to realize they never should have even been looked at in the first place.
Absolutely. That's a tricky part with it, I find, because it's like whenever I use AI to like draft, update any sort of email to a potential client or something like that, I always make sure it's in my own voice and that it's like authentic to what I've actually done. And when I have had it update my resume or just have a different type of version of a resume, I always make sure that it gets the dates right and the descriptions for the jobs I've actually done right, and it doesn't get things misconstrued, because I don't give people the wrong idea. But I know not everyone is that doesn't use the AI in that way, and they'll just be like, oh, okay, well, that looks good to me, and they'll just send it out.
Yeah, and when you're using it as a tool like that to give you a writing suggestion or formatting or different ways to say things, that's a fantastic tool to use. But when you let it run wild to just write the entire thing and submit with no oversight, obviously there's going to be issues.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, that's never anything to advocate for. It's just like you said, using it as like another writing tool to polish your writing, but you still have to vet it, and you have stuff to make sure that what you have written for that cover letter or whatever is actually makes sense. So yeah, so that's really good that you do that you vet that stuff out, because I know nowadays that's a big problem.
And also what we do is it creates a human path for the entire process of now our clients aren't getting AI generated submissions and digital applications. Our applicants aren't dealing with these AI filters and these online submission forms. They're dealing with a human being in the middle, where I'm talking to a human being, I'm doing an interview, I'm vetting them, I'm calling their references, and then I'm presenting them to the client with a little report where it's a human recommendation. There's a human involved at every step. So that just acts both as a filter, but also as an enhancement of the experience and the knowledge comes in, where we can identify issues, ask questions, and make sure everything's legitimate, so there are no games being played.
Yeah, that's really huge. That's really huge that you do it for both ways, because I know that's a huge complaint with a lot of people applying to jobs right now, is they feel like everything's being passed through an AI bot or something, and even if they have the right qualifications, they hear nothing back, like on sites like Indeed. So that's really cool that you do that. It's important.
Yeah, and we get that feedback from applicants a lot. We've had quite a few of them thank us, saying you're the only ones that actually talk to us. Everybody else is go on our website, submit the app. We'll reach out to you if you have anything. That's not our process. We don't have an app on our website. It's send me an email with a resume and your availability. We'll organize a discovery call and have a conversation and find out your background, your experience, and what you're looking for, so I know where to place you in the future.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So I wanted to ask you, what makes Jomsom's approach unique and different from other staffing and recruiting companies? You mentioned your focus on small to mid-size businesses. What other things make you guys uniquely different?
I think the biggest thing that makes us different is how much care we put in. The fact that we actually do meet with everybody in person, or at least virtually like this, that we do check personality and cultural fit, not just experience and knowledge. So we're looking for somebody that's going to mesh with your team, that's going to get along with your personalities that are there in the company and have that long-term success. And our focus is on helping these small companies grow, as opposed to just placing as many bodies as possible. So there's a lot of opportunities that pop up where they're just not a fit for us. They're a fit for my competitors, and they need, say 50 technicians to come in. That's not my forte. But when you need to have a skilled bookkeeper that knows a certain software, or you need to find an executive to come in and manage a team in a certain industry, that's where someone like me has a lot of value, to go find that one person that you're looking for that's difficult to find.
Yeah, that's really cool. It makes you almost like a headhunter in a way for these businesses.
Yeah, we call it recruiter. Direct hire is the terminology these days, but headhunter was the old term of we're out there hunting for the right person and getting their contact information, soliciting them. And one of the realities of the market in general is that the best employees aren't looking for a job. They're not looking at job postings in general. They're working for your competitor. They're happily employed and successful somewhere, and we have the ability to find them and reach out, say, are you interested in coming to another company to have a new position, to offer these opportunities that they never would have seen because they simply aren't looking.
Yeah, that is true. A lot of that, what you're saying makes a lot of sense, because it's like people who are doing great work and could be really good employees, they're out there doing that great work, and so they're not necessarily every day on Indeed looking for stuff, because they're just too busy doing their thing. So that's
Exactly.
really cool that you're able to find those people and connect them with those potential opportunities.
Yeah, and it's all down to our systems, our software, the tools that we have available to actually be able to find these people. It's amazing how far things have come. Even the ability to find employees that want to relocate. If somebody is currently in, say, Kansas and wants to come to Nevada, we can find people that are actually in the area that have the skill set anywhere in the country, and identify them based on their internet patterns that they want to relocate, that they're open to the relocation. So it's very cool, the fact that we can identify those candidates, find them, reach out, qualify them, and get through the whole process when they otherwise never would have even been considered.
Yeah, no, that's really powerful. And what would you say has been your most useful tool in doing that? Is it like LinkedIn Sales Navigator or whatever, or what do you use?
LinkedIn Recruiter specifically. That is something that we do have a recruiter account. It's pretty pricey. It doesn't make sense for an average employer to have it, but for us as a recruiter, it makes absolute sense, and it's a very valuable tool. We also have our own CRM system called LOXO. Not proprietary to us, but it's a pretty powerful staffing platform that helps us manage all of our clients, all of our candidates, and also all of the outreach. So that's very powerful in terms of following up and making sure we actually do get in contact with these candidates and making sure that nobody falls through the cracks.
That's good that you have your own CRM tailored to staffing, because not every CRM is created equal. Learn the hard way.
And yeah, thankfully we do have one in place that is staffing specific. It's been very helpful, and it's so much more efficient than Post-it notes and writing down things on pieces of paper. To have a digital system that my entire team can use, we all see the same info, we all see the same reminders. It's such a help for servicing our clients.
That's awesome. So outside of expanding, the different franchise locations in Vegas or offices in Vegas, what is new on the horizon that you guys have going on for the company?
The biggest thing right now is our expansion. We're growing. We've won some nice awards, which is kind of nice to get some recognition from some of the franchise and entrepreneur type of websites and magazines. But our big focus right now is on growing. I will say there's not too much exciting happening when it comes to labor laws and regulations. We're compliant. It's a full-time job staying compliant, but there's not a lot of excitement there. Most of our excitement is in opening new locations and bringing in new franchisees and bringing in new clients. And it's so exciting for us to complete a placement where we've helped a local company grow by finding the help that they need. I've helped a neighbor find a job, and everybody's thanking me. It's such a rewarding industry to be in, and that's the whole point, is to make these connections happen.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be very fulfilling, connecting people with the right people and having it work out in such a harmonious way. But my next question I was going to ask to that, so when you're expanding these offices and opening up more franchise locations, what is it that you're looking for in potential franchisees or people looking to buy that franchise?
I'm looking for somebody that has some sort of experience with running a company, whether that's education or hands-on. I'm looking for somebody that is motivated, that wants to learn, that wants to achieve, that wants to grow. And I'm looking for somebody that understands the value of a franchise, of the support that you get, the training that you get, how much of the content is already made for you, and the fact that it's, for the most part, turnkey, ready to go. It's just a matter of bringing your clients in and loading them into the system. So when we find that combination of somebody that has the skills, has the experience, has the right mindset, we can fill in all the gaps. We can train how to use the tools, we can teach them the compliance and how to submit everything. It's all pretty simple, to be frank. The hard part is finding somebody with the right mindset to come in and just launch the business and attract those clients and build their team. It does take a certain personality type to actually do it and achieve.
Yeah, no, 100%, because it's one thing to have something turnkey, like you said, but just because it's turnkey doesn't mean it's going to be easy, and they're still going to have to put some elbow grease and build that team, and get those people, the right team for the recruiting, to recruit, and all that jazz. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. It's a working model. It doesn't mean it works on its own. And just like any big franchise, say McDonald's, they've had locations that have closed. Not every single one's successful, not every franchisee is successful. The model works, and if you follow it, it does work. But that doesn't mean that every franchisee is capable of actually doing it. So we always make do our due diligence to find people that are actually capable of succeeding before we go down that path, because failure sucks, and we don't want to go down that. We don't want to put anyone through that. So we want to set everybody up for success, and that starts with finding the right candidates.
Yeah, no, 100%. That does. And my next question I wanted to ask you is tell us a story that you had, like a really cool story that comes to mind on the recruiting side, maybe recently or when you started, when it came to either recruiting or connecting someone with the right company.
I actually have a one that came up recently, which I'd like to share. We're helped a construction company earlier this year find a project manager. We did our recruiting. We presented them with 3 candidates with the report. They did an interview with them, and we had a bit of a Goldilocks situation of one candidate was too friendly, one was too professional. They were looking for somebody in the middle. We kind of laughed of, it's unicorn hunting, it's the Goldilocks problem. But we went back. We now had a better target of exactly what they were looking for based on our debrief with them. And we managed to find them exactly what they're looking for. So we found the perfect candidate. They did the interview. They got hired. They got brought on. We got that wonderful first day message from them showing off their new office and thanking us for helping them get the position. We got a follow-up from the team that everything's going well. Everybody's happy. And the best part is they reached out to us recently saying that they have another position open. They want us to help them with that as well, which is a sure sign that we did a great job for them, that they're happy. And now we get the opportunity to help this client that we like. They've been fantastic. We know exactly what they're looking for now, and we're now helping them fill another position. And that's just the ideal situation for me. They were searching for a while. They couldn't find it. They were looking for something very specific, which we struggled to find, but we could do, and they were happy enough to come back. And that's like the biggest success story I can really share is that we do work well enough that our clients come back to us.
That's good. Yeah, it makes sense too, because it's like once you have, once that client has had great success with you, and they're expanding, they're eventually going to probably need more people on their team. So it makes sense why they come back. So that's really cool. Thank you for sharing.
And it also gives them a known quantity of, they know how long we take, they know what our fee is, they know the quality of what we provide. It's now pass it to us, we'll take care of it. You can focus on running your business in the meantime, and just tell them when the interviews are.
Love that. And then my next question is just to pivot a little bit. So outside of, being working at Jomsom, what is it that you love to do in terms of hobbies and fun things?
Well, I'm an outdoorsman. I love getting out in nature, usually on 2 wheels, mountain biking and dirt biking. I live right on the edge of town here in Pahrump, so I can go across the street and be on the BLM land or the desert and go riding all day. I was out there yesterday for a few hours. Absolutely love that. The other side is that I do a lot of volunteer work. I have a passion for helping children, especially those with special needs. So I volunteer with Special Olympics is one of the major ones that I work with, but also the Boys and Girls Club and some smaller ones here locally like Voices for All Abilities. Doing whatever I can to do some fundraising, to do some outreach, and sponsor some of the events that are coming up.
That's really cool. That's a very well-rounded repertoire of things and activities that you do, and that's a really cool way to give back to your community.
Absolutely, and I do kind of feel a bit of a duty to give back because the alternative is that I'm taking care of myself on the weekends, so I always try to 2 or 3 times a month get out there and do some sort of charitable event because I feel like I'm not living up to my expectations of myself if I'm not doing that.
Yeah, so I agree. It's always important to find some meaningful way to give back to your community and all that jazz.
Yeah, and it's also very rewarding to see the impact it has, to see all the kids jumping and smiling, to see the competitors go to national competition with Special Olympics. It's extremely rewarding to see the impact that it has.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it just takes just a little bit of support to change someone's lives at one of those charitable events, and especially Special Olympics, and that I imagine it'd be really cool to help someone out in that, and then track their progress, follow up with them. I'm sure they're very happy to get in touch with you and tell you how it goes. So that's really cool.
Absolutely. It's always great to see, and there's I listed a few of them, but I've worked with other ones like Donate Life and Sleep in Heavenly Peace, and quite a few 3 Square and Clean Up Pahrump, and I'm always doing some sort of charitable outreach, and it's across the board to see the impact that it has, And there's always something that you can kind of be rewarded by down the line, that you see that you've made the world a better place, that you've helped the community grow, you've helped people with their lives. And that's what I'm doing here is yes, I have a job I make money at, but really what I'm doing is I help my neighbors find a job and helping local businesses grow. And it's all just an extension of that community building, that my goal would be to be the person that made these connections and improved the world around me. And this is how I'm able to do it. And coming from my previous careers, like in insurance, I didn't feel like that at all. Yeah, I would have some people that had a claim where that money would save their butts or cover a big expense. But for the most part, it was a utility. It was a bill. It was just another thing that they paid and that they used. They got their checkup, they got their cleaning, they got their drugs. And it just is. It wasn't improving wasn't building anything, wasn't improving the community. It was just an expense that was being paid. So to switch to this side, I find it so much more rewarding in life.
Yeah, that sounds like a huge upgrade in terms of fulfillment and impact, so that's really awesome. And then my next question I wanted to ask you, Ray, is, so what would be one takeaway you would want to give to the audience that they should know?
I guess the biggest thing would be to let everybody know that it's not unique when you get hundreds, maybe 1,000 apps in very quickly, and most of them aren't even viable. We're seeing a lot of clients that are getting 200-300 applications in a single day for a basic position where 99% of them aren't viable at all. They're not real. They're AI generated. They're not in the area. They don't have the skills. They just aren't a fit at all. The amount of legwork you have to do to actually recruit has gone up just because of the sheer volume of submissions that are coming in these days. And a lot of companies look at the expense that we charge of, it is not cheap to use a recruiting service, but all the studies that I've seen indicate that when you're trying to do it yourself, replacement costs of an employee is at least 40% of their annual pay. Between the downtime you have, the training, the vetting, the interviewing process, all the other work that goes into it, the total cost ends up being a lot more than you'd ever expect. And when it comes to executives, they talk about 100 to 200% replacement cost. So a lot of companies look at the expense of bringing us in as hard to stomach. It's a big, dollar amount. When we look at the lost expense and the overall cost, we actually are saving. And that's what our clients realize when they use us, is the end result of getting somebody in there the first time, on time, correctly, saves them so much in the long run that it's worth it. And big companies know that. Google, Amazon, Tesla, they're all using staffing companies for them because it makes more sense to do that. The smaller companies have to learn that, and that's been part of my challenge, is kind of explain the value to these smaller companies that haven't seen it yet. But once they do see it, they tend to come back to us.
That makes a ton of sense because, a smaller business, they can do that stuff on their own, but the problem with if they unfortunately bring on the wrong person, that can not only cost them so many hours in training and then of course wages, but they could also lose clients over it. Being able to recruit and pay that upfront fee will save you down the line 100%. So that's really cool.
Absolutely. And I mean, I'm a small business owner myself, so I understand that mindset of wanting to do it all yourself. There's days where I'm sweeping floors, I'm cleaning toilets, I'm paying utilities and fixing the filter and the AC unit. At some point, it makes sense to bring in a cleaning company. At some point, it makes sense to bring in an HVAC technician. And that's kind of where we are of, yes, you can recruit on your own, but at some point, it makes sense to bring in a professional that can do a better job, do it more quickly, provide a better result. And it's worth the fee for having that better end result.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Especially since you have so many happy testimonials and happy customers. So
I'm very proud of the work we've been doing so far and the clients we've been able to help. We take a lot of pride in finding those right connections for everybody and making sure everyone's taken care of properly. And it's not easy and it is time consuming, but I'd rather do the right thing than not be proud of what I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. So my final question to you is, what is the best way for people to get in touch with you, find you online if they want to learn more?
Well, online's usually the best. You can always find me on our company website, jomsomstaffing.com. I'm also on LinkedIn, and of course, if you're ever in the Vegas area, I'm at networking events multiple times a week, the Vegas Chamber, Henderson Chamber, and a bunch of others. So I'm always out and about at the events as well. So if you ever see me in person, feel free to say hello. But you can always get my phone number, my email, all my contact information is on the website, jomsomstaffing.com.
Beautiful. So thank you so much, Ray, for coming on the show and sharing that information. Definitely check out Ray if you're looking for a job at a company, or your company looking to hire top talent, top people. Definitely check him out. And again, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you so much again for tuning in to another episode of the Business Origin Story podcast. I'm your host, Drew Mitchell. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be updated on the next episode when it comes out. Thank you again, and as always, stay classy.